Hello, traders. Welcome back to the Chart Whisperer, where we only trade when the market pays us to. It's a wonderful. Let's see what the trading week has in store for us. I just want to get started with the dollar index. It helps us get a lot more confluence and confidence in our direction where the dollar is. Everything that I actually have on this watch list is basically um, hugely affected by the dollar, um, including indices. So yeah, it's very relevant for my style of trading. Just briefly here, 1 hour quick overview. As you can see, we've got two levels of drop. I anticipate the dollar index will give us another level of drop, which means the dollar itself will be weakening, and I'll kind of be using that to kind of help um add some, call it, some confidence to my directional bias as well. I don't have a chart here because I can't open it on MT4. Maybe in the next video I'll add trading view, but the 2 year treasury note yield as well is in a downtrend. It's probably gonna go down for one more level. I did check it as well, so again demonstrating um our bias of the dollar dropping, and as well as inflation data. But we'll talk about the Fed at a later stage. I have some tools, well, not so much tools, but some information that will probably be useful, especially as a BTMM trader. Um, it helps again give more context and for the confidence. Now, Dow Jones, where we actually place positions, as you can see, two levels of drop here. I expect one more level of drop. The thing about indices and the in relation to the dollar is that more often than not, the the dollar's weakening. We expect the indices more often than not to be rising, but that doesn't seem to be the case right now. Again, they're kind of going in the same direction, so we'll see how that goes. I am expecting one more level of drop, but as you can see, there isn't any nice area of I don't want to call it liquidity, but that is generally what it is. It's exactly what it is. I don't have an area where I can take a good position, have probability set up. So I'll obviously be staying out and see what happens throughout the day. The Nasdaq, three levels of drop for me. I'm satisfied with that. I expect it to rise from here, which coincides with everything else in the macro. Again, dollar index, treasury, and whatnot. So I do expect them to rise. Let's just see how it looks here. Pretty plain and simple. Two-legged stop hunt low rise. An W formation here is all I want, and I'm definitely taking it long. Strong area, actually, strong area here. As you can see, we've got last week and last month's, is it lows? Yeah, lows there as well. So um if we get any clear signals there, I'll definitely take it long, but we'll see how that develops. As you know, this is normally a New York session issue right now in London, not so much. The cable, expecting further levels of rise. We had a reset here last week. 2 levels of rise, so I expect one more at least. But they have to break the previous last week's high, so I definitely expect them to go long. I will be waiting for long positions here. And as normal, when it comes to the pound, I am looking at both Asian session lows as well as yesterday or Friday's low. Let's call it that. I want to see something happen around here or here. Again, two-legged formation set up, and we take them out of there. Let's see how that develops. Um, Over to the euro, just about the same thing, really. I don't want to explain too much. Two levels of rise here. We want, yeah, two levels of rise. One more, but a clear level of rise. As you can see, there's still within that range of that first level. So we've got Friday's low down there, as well as Asian session low, which is a good thing. So that's exactly where I want to take my position. If the setup presents itself, I'll be in here. I will have a look also at last week's low. Interesting that they're so close to each other. Maybe there could be something there. Don't know. But my first area of interest is going to be Asian session low. We'll see how that goes. Australian dollar. My goodness, if there's a pair that I analyze and almost never trade. Nothing here, to be completely honest. I've got 2 levels of rise, 3 actually. For me, the levels are actually complete. Now, I don't think I don't necessarily expect them to be going straight down from there. I do expect them to come back and maybe either hit, was it Friday? Not Friday, Thursday's high or last week's high in general before this move is completely done. So I'm gonna be staying out, especially for today. We'll see how they shape up and what goes on for the rest of the week, especially because I expect a rise from the rest of um the euros and the pound. So we'll see how that actually goes. But I do expect some drops, so a reversal here eventually. Dollar CAD also has been dropping for quite a while. 3 levels of completed and then some. Um, I don't like that from a level point of view. I want to go long. I'm not necessarily a fan of going opposite um, when it comes to the dollar, but I am open to taking a long here because the level count suggests it. Although, with the dollar index and everything, but again, that's not the root of my system. The root will always be level count BTMM. So if something presents there, I'm taking it nonetheless. That being said, I will be waiting at last week's low and see if we can catch anything there. But yeah, extremely high probability setup only here. I won't take any chances. Swiss franc, I expect another level of drop, definitely beyond last week's low. So looks like there might be an area. Yes, I'm happy to take it at, again, this is if there is a setup at Asian session low, I mean high, sorry, as well as Friday's high. Those are good areas for me to take a position if a setup presents itself. So I'll be waiting right here. That's where my alert will be. And then finally, S&P 500. Again, here I'm kind of gonna go against the macro a bit, if you will. BTMM is the foundation of my trading and always will be. So I won't be trying to go against the level count in any way. However, we do have 1 level of rise, and as you can see here, Friday's high is way too far from me. And with the indices, I never take positions from the initial highs and lows, being Asian highs and lows. So definitely gonna stay out. I guess I'm out of the indices altogether today. And when I look at it today, I will be looking at Swiss franc, Canadian, Euro pound, as well as the Nasdaq. So let's see how that unfolds. I'll be checking. I'll actually be waiting for alerts. I wait for the market to come to me. I will not necessarily say anything. However, you guys can actually get a bit more perspective on the macro. I will be sending something into the Telegram channel this morning, and obviously, once you're in the channel, you can always come to the discussion as well. That's where we just talk and see, and compare notes, if you will, about the charts. So, if you're interested in that, a community of BTMM traders, and again, I will be sharing my macro overview and my process in there quite frequently, maybe a few times a week. We'll see how often it's necessary. So just hit the link in the description and you'll find everything in there. And that's it for me this morning. I hope you guys have a profitable trading day, and you will see me in the next one. Cheers.